Hello and welcome back to the Calculator Review, hosted on caliquin.com. Today I have this thing. This is the Staples BD6108 Scientific Calculator, and holy crap is it ugly. This is easily one of the ugliest calculators I own. I found this at a bookstore for I think like $2 or $3. And I knew I had to own it. Apparently this is still in production, at least in Canada. I've been trying to find out more information about it, but I can't find the year it was created or much of anything. I have found help guides dating back as far as, I believe, 2008, so it's at least 10 years old. Not necessarily this one, but just the model. And right, like I said, it's very ugly, and we'll get into the issues now. So this takes a battery inside, and as you'll notice, this has no simple way of removing it. So in order to install the batteries, I need a screwdriver. That's already a major problem, as you might know. This severely affects reliability of a calculator. This thing does not take solar power, so it can very easily die on you mid-operation, and if you're doing some important calculations and the battery suddenly runs out, you're going to have to do this. And this is assuming you even have batteries with the type of battery you need with you. So there are 4 screws that hold it together, which is obnoxious. And normally in my repair videos I would fast forward through the removing of the screws, but I really want to show just how inconvenient this is. So that's why I'm leaving this here. So, okay, so normally it's a lot harder to get inside this thing, actually. So I really want to show the entire process of... Okay, so now it's like fully seated. This is how it typically is. I probably just didn't fully seat it when I put it back together last time. So, what you'll find is the only way to actually get the back separated from the front is you need another screwdriver or a knife or just something sharp, maybe a fingernail, but I'm not really in the mood to use my fingernails. You can kind of bend it, or actually I'm going to have to use my fingernails. This is an absolute nightmare to get open. So let's try my knife. I don't want to damage the calculator. Okay. So yeah, that's what it takes to get inside this thing. Before I get into the battery situation, I want to address the other issues here, such as the fact that it uses plastic rivets to hold the whole thing together. Sam, go. Out. Out. Go. Out. Go. Come on. Come on. Go. Sam. Out. Come on. I'm kicking you out for a few minutes. Go on. So the issue I have with this is the fact that it uses plastic rivets to hold it together. So I was never able to actually get this apart so I could clean under the buttons. And because of how poorly these buttons are laid out, or designed rather, it's very easy for debris and stuff to get inside and in there. And this thing's just going to get disgusting with lots of use. Not that I would use it a lot. The other thing is the screen just kind of nothing really holds that in place unless the back's on. So if you're not careful replacing the batteries, you could completely screw this calculator up. So moving on to the battery. This does not take a standard CR2032, unfortunately. Instead, it takes, what was this? A CR2025. Just, CR2032 is actually too big for this, so it would not fit. So, okay. So the battery works, great. Now we can get it back together and actually review this thing. So assuming you have a brand new battery and you're not going to have to be calculating for days on end in an emergency situation, we can review it based on that assumption. Sorry, I still got to get these screws back in, so again, I don't want to fast forward through it because I really do want to just show how tedious this is. And then after I'm done with this video, I'm going to have to disassemble this thing to remove the battery and then reassemble it. Maybe I'll leave that in, I don't know. Okay, so now we have we at long last have an assembled working calculator. So we'll start with it off. So it's got an on button placed right here, and this also serves as the clear function, though you do also have this down here. So you can use that to clear all the memory if you'd like. To turn it off, you press the inverse button, which turns it off. And the inverse button works as essentially a shift for anything you see printed up here. So you might be able to tell in the video, it's actually really hard to tell at a glance what a lot of these buttons do. The way they're laid out is just not good. I don't like the weird curve that they went for on the bottom here. The buttons don't even feel good to press, really. They're like this weird clear tile over top I'm assuming just a printed piece of paper that has the number or whatever. It's not good. The other thing is, because of this layout, it's really hard to tell what the inverse button's actually going to do. So let's say I want to use, well, pi would be obvious, it would be that. So that's at least fine. But say you want to use O to the, or big O to the N, at least I think that's what that is. It's not immediately clear that that's the 6 button, because it could be the 9 button. It's little things like that that really bug me about this design, and it's even worse up in this area. Then you have this thing. I cannot figure out what this button does. I've tried a lot of different things, and I guess I could go through the manual and figure it out, but it just feels really unnecessary. It would have been cool if they would have used this as like an equals button or something, because that's actually a great place for it, but that's just not the case. Oh, actually it looks like it can go back through the memory. Yeah, no, never mind. I don't know what it does. I'm not entirely familiar with all the functions of a scientific calculator. I'm not a huge fan of the scientific calculators, but I was pretty excited when I found this because I hadn't really seen anything quite this hideous. As far as the way it feels, I mean, it feels sturdy. It doesn't feel like if you drop it, it's going to break or anything. And the functions work fine. It's just I don't care for the way this looks in the slightest. Let's see if we can do our 2 square root of 2, or yeah, square root of 2 times the square root of 2. That is really hard to say. I cannot find the square root function. I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, here we are. So that would be inverse square root of 2. No. So 2 inverse. Aha. Times 2 inverse equals 2. Okay, so it's at least an accurate calculator. Or maybe not. Yeah, okay, it is. It's actually very accurate. That's pretty cool. You can see it's alternating between a weird infinite decimal and just a standard integer. As far as the overall look, as I said, it's ugly. I do kind of like the black and white thing they were going for, and what I think would have really made this calculator look amazing is if they would have made the buttons black with white text. I think that would have made it look really, really nice. This weird clear thing they went for just makes it look and feel like children's jewelry, that cheap plastic that you can see through, and it just doesn't look good. And also, it would have been really nice if they would have included a solar panel on this, because there's really no reason they shouldn't. This calculator is not very old. It definitely was created in a time when solar panels were easily available. So yeah, that's the Staples BD6108. Not recommended. In fact, I would recommend the Jot Scientific calculator for $1 that I reviewed a while back over this, because it's essentially the same thing, and it looks better and feels better. And this thing costs a lot more. I believe these are about 12 bucks Canadian at Staples. I don't remember. They were sold out, and I can't find the price again. So, yeah, not worth getting. You can find better scientific calculators out there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great Wednesday.